And welcome back to Fire Emblem Engage, and welcome to Battle Preparations. This game has a pretty nice Battle Preparations theme. But here we can swap around emblems in the Emblem Rings option. So, yeah, the cool thing about the emblem system is it's not a protagonist exclusive perk. From here on, Marth is no longer locked to a Leer. Anybody can use any emblem, which leads to a lot of really cool combinations. Now, as you can see here, they really want you to put Sigurd on Alfred for this map because he's a cavalry unit and gains additional bonuses with Sigurd. But, think about it this way. Alfred's main weakness is that he doesn't double enemies often. Marth can help patch that up. And also, Alfred was talking about how he really admired Marth, the legendary hero, before. How about you witness Marth firsthand?
Marth, let's go!
And that frees up Sigurd to be used by a Leer.
Sigurd!
We go together.
While this might not be the most optimal combination of emblems for this map, I did want to just show a little bit of variety in emblem usage, and I do actually quite like Sigurd on a Leer for this one. You could also put Sigurd on Vander. Heck, Sigurd on Clan is somewhat interesting because it gives you high movement, along with extra damage on override based on your magic stat. So there are multiple different ways to tackle these maps, so I'd recommend trying out a lot of different emblem combinations. Except, in my first playthrough, I put Sigurd on Boucheron because I thought that would increase the range of his chain attacks. It doesn't. Don't do that. Now, in terms of space swapping and positioning, some allies cannot be moved. Generally speaking, a Leer and any ally who joins in the chapter, their positions are fixed. And from here, you can check out the entire map. So, for example, we have Louis and Chloe here, and they're already right in the thick of things with some enemies around here. Fortunately, Chloe is not facing an archer from the beginning. We also have a lot of lance users down below and an armored enemy, so we'll want a mage below. Up here, we have another armored enemy a little later in, and then we also have some lance users, again, more of a variety of enemies, but this guy right here drops a hand axe, and that is going to be useful for either Vander or Boucheron, especially Boucheron. There are also some glowing tiles right here, but we'll explain what those are eventually, both the glowing tiles in front of houses and the swirling ground that's marked as spirits. Also, we have the boss of this map here, Rodin, yet another armored guy. This guy is a lance armor rather than an axe armor, and he has a ranged weapon. Also, he has a bit of a reduce from effectiveness, so really they want you to use magic against these guys, not Marth's rapier. Speaking of magic, I believe this is the first time we're encountering enemy mages, so Louis will have to be careful of that. Yeah, if I move Vander back here, he'll still be able to reach what he needs to, and Boucheron will be able to run in. I'd like Boucheron to pick up the hand axe as soon as possible. I want Etier down below because there will eventually be flyer reinforcements coming out of this fort. Now, you can swap around items in the inventory menu. Is there any item that I'd rather... Okay, you have an extra vulnerary. I think I'll give that to Alfred. Alfred is kind of a tank, but he does take a lot of damage sometimes, so he could use another one. Okay, now it's time to save and begin the battle. Okay, let's begin.
Alfred!
Well, you certainly crossed the map fast.
Saline? What are you doing here? I thought you were with Mother.
I was, but Alfred, the Illusian army is marching on the castle.
What? Why?
I cannot say. Before they arrived, Mother sent me to warn you. But then we were ambushed on our way to Flora Port. Louis and Chloe stayed behind so that I might have a chance to escape.
And little does she know, we can see them right there in the top corner of our map.
Please, we must hurry back to them.
Absolutely.
Pardon me, Princess Saline, but do you have the emblem ring?
Yes, Mother gave it to me. Why do you... Goodness gracious! The Divine Dragon? You're here! You're awake!
I am.
Yeah, forget about that, now's not the time.
May I say, it is truly an honor.
Again, not the time.
The emblem ring is right here. Please, Divine One, it is yours.
The words. They're coming to me. Care for us, Emblem of Echoes.
Celica is the first magic-focused emblem we get, and she's one of the only ones, though she also raises strength slightly. Her first sync skill is Holy Stance, which reflects 10% of damage taken by corrupted foes. During the enemy phase, 10% isn't much, and Celica has a much better way of dealing with corrupted. But at bomb level 3, she gets something better, Resonance. This is a reference to spells costing HP in Fire Emblem Gaiden. It causes the user to lose 1 HP if they have 2 or more at the start of combat, to deal +2 damage with tomes. This extra damage can make a huge difference, though so can the 1 HP loss. While it's impossible for this to kill you, it can put you into kill range of other enemies, so be careful. At bomb level 8, you get Favorite Food, which maxes out the engage meter when you eat a packed lunch. This is a type of consumable item made in the Somnial that we'll have access to later. This skill has a very weird niche use on one specific character, but apart from them, you can only have 1 packed lunch per chapter. Still, this potentially lets Celica's user get her engage twice back to back, and that can be really helpful when you look at Celica's engage abilities. Her first one is Echo. This one is pretty niche, but in the right circumstances, it can be very dangerous. It lets you essentially split your fire with a spell between 2 enemies, only dealing half damage each time. Dragons get +1 range with this, letting you attack with spells from 3 range or even more, while mystical units deal 10% more damage, which can make using Echo twice on the same enemy deal more damage than attacking normally. In certain circumstances, that is. But Celica's main asset is her engage attack. This lets you warp up to 10 spaces away, ignoring terrain, and then attack with her engage weapon Ragnarok, which is incredibly powerful and in the early game usually one-shots most things. Yes, this is a common trend with the early emblems. Dragons get to attack from 3 range with this, cavalry warp up to 12 spaces, and flyers can warp up to 15. Mystical units just do more damage, but that's already a pretty big benefit. As for flying, you might think this would be great on a flying tome-using class. There's actually only a few of those classes, and they're all locked to specific characters, but those characters do make very good use of this. But Griffin Knight is a flying class that can't use tomes but still has a decent magic stat, so you might get some use out of that. Celica's first engage weapon is another of her biggest assets. Seraphim deals effective damage against Corrupted, which on certain chapters is every enemy on the map. That is pretty incredible. Her Bond 10 engage weapon is not a weapon, it's a staff. It's got a ton of power, which means it will often heal people to full HP, and it can be used even if Celica's wielder can't normally equip staves. I've also listed the stats of Ragnarok here, because some emblems have special engage weapons that will only be used during their engage attack. Ragnarok is not technically one of these, but for now the only way we can use it is Celica's engage attack, so here are its stats for reference. Clan and Selene have pretty much uncontested access to Celica for the next few chapters, but after that point, she's a good option for whoever your best mage is. Or just anybody you want to warp. It'll be a while before we have access to warp staves, and until then, Celica's Warp Ragnarok is an incredible mobility tool, perhaps even better than Sigurd.
I am Emblem Celica. I detest violence, but I will always fight to defend the innocent.
And I'm guessing you detest a lot of the fan base because people seem to really hate you after Echoes.
Thank you for answering my call.
Yeah, honestly, I'll probably weigh in on the whole Celica controversy later. I think hate's a strong word, but I feel like she gets a lot of flack, and I agree with some of it, but not other aspects of it.
So, this is the emblem that was in Firene's ring.
Emblem Celica. How marvelous!
Now, conveniently, this was a mage emblem, because Saline would not do so well with any other.
Divine One, with your blessing, and hers, of course, I would like to fight by Celica's side. I must protect the people of this village and ensure Louis and Chloe's safety.
I entrust this ring to you, Saline.
So, Saline, Louis, Chloe, and technically Celica joined our group. That's a lot of characters. I'll be giving the actual character bios in the next Somnial, but I've shown Celica's because she's pretty relevant to this chapter, as you're about to see.
I won't be able to get very far with these archers everywhere.
How about this? I take care of the archers and you deal with the magic users.
Good idea. While their spells will go right through your armor, I'm resistant to magic.
Yeah, Pegasi, for lore reasons, are kind of resistant to magic. It's got a few different explanations.
So leave the mages to me. It's not so bad protecting each other, now is it?
Indeed. This is a nice change of pace.
Okay, our boss is Rodine, and we need to just defeat them. But I'd like to take out as many other enemies as possible. Spirits of the Fallen, this is the network mechanic that I was talking about at the start of the game. If you're connected to the internet, you can step on the Spirits of the Fallen, and you can either gain experience, bond experience, in yellow ones, and purple ones can give you random items. The spirits also indicate where other people who played this map lost a lot of characters, so you can kind of get a bit of an indication of where. For example, this space might be a problematic one, as with this space. For some reason this space is, maybe it's because of this flyer right here. And the yellow spirits are slightly less problematic spaces, but yeah, you've got quite a few of them over here, and that's likely because the boss moves and so does that mage. So okay then, there's actually a few different things we could do to start things off, but I guess we should start by following the advice of Louis and Chloe. Now they mark effective units with a purple exclamation mark, just so that you know to stay away from archers with flyers. This is actually something that Fire Emblem Awakening's tutorial did a pretty bad job of covering. I remember that back in those days, a lot of people got Sumia killed in her first chapter because the game, it's been a while since I've actually seen that tutorial. Also, I love the tulip background here.
Simple enough.
But from what I remember, the game did not do a great job of explaining how dangerous archers were to flyers. But yeah, we got another Slim Lance. That's from the Spirits of the Fallen, I think. Or was it being carried by that mage? I don't know. But okay then, we also have Louis here. Oh yeah, by the way, the flyer movement type, it basically just flies over terrain. Just like cavalry, it doesn't have any additional class bonuses. But armored units actually do have class bonuses. You might also notice that Louis has 4 movement, the same as other average on-foot units. Unpromoted armors don't lose movement compared to other classes. But on top of that...
I live to serve.
Okay. Hasn't quite explained it here, but armored units ignore break effects from weapon advantage. Now, technically, armored units can still be broken, but only by non-standard means. So here, for example, I can charge Louis. In fact, the game actually does a great job of explaining this because we've got 2 axe enemies near Louis, but if I let them attack him, he's not going to get broken, and thus he'll be able to counterattack. This gives armored units a particularly interesting niche in Engage. It basically means that, we'll find out what bond fragments fall later, by the way, but it basically means they're one of the few types of units that can actually get stuff done on the enemy phase, which is pretty important. So okay, now let's talk Celica.
Emblem Celica, it is an honor. So it was your voice I heard on the way from the castle. I am glad you're here with me.
You heard mysterious whispers. Don't sell your soul to Duma. The fan base will bash you for it.
I feel the same, Saline. I will fight by your side from now on. Together. We will protect that which you hold dear.
I really like Erica Lindbeck as a voice actress because she's able to pull off convincingly young characters like Futaba in Persona 5, and older sounding characters like Celica.
Thank you.
So I've already gone over how Celica works, but she's basically a magic emblem. Her biggest asset though is her ability to warp. Also Seraphim against corrupted foes.
With Celica's help, I ought to be able to reach Chloe and Louis more quickly.
The game kind of expects you to use her warp mechanic to get Louis and Chloe out of a bind here. Which is kind of cool, because Fire Emblem games rarely tutorialize, as if that's a word, warping. However, Saline herself can also take this Armor Knight down to 1 HP, so might want to think a little bit about when we warp with her. Okay, these are corrupted, so Celica's going to be effective.
Look at that house. The gate is wide open.
Look at my this house.
We'd better warn them to lock up so the corrupted don't get in.
Well, actually, corrupted can't destroy villages, and there are only specific enemies that can. But yeah, visiting villages, that's a mechanic that I don't think was in 3 houses, if I'm remembering right, but it is back in this game. Thankfully, everyone can visit villages in this one. In Fire Emblem 1 and like the other Marth games, only Marth could do it. But okay then, I wasn't really too concerned about that village for now. I was more concerned with what happens if I have you engage and use the rapier. Oh hey, you actually take this guy down with the rapier in 1 round. That's kind of cool, but at the same time, you will get hit a little hard, but I guess we can try this. Yeah, you get these big wind turbines on your back if you're a cavalry unit. Engaged. Every engaged state looks different. So dragons are the ones who get the big wings.
I will protect you.
However, yeah, I don't think 18 and 17, your defense of 8, yeah, you need to get healed or you are going to die here. Or I need to kill that, and there are probably a few ways I can do it.
As your steward.
Firstly, I can fireball this guy. 6% crit there would have been nice, but oh well. And Celica can do a little more. Yeah, I did want Vander to go to the north. And, okay, so Celica doesn't quite finish this guy, but I guess I can show off this mechanic a little bit. So if we engage with her right now...
Emblem, engage! I feel a great power within. We have united, haven't we?
And have the power of pink hair!
My resolve is strong. I will protect my people. I will protect everyone.
But not by warping just yet. So, if we attack with Celica, we can use Seraphim, and that's going to one-shot this guy. But we could also try and Echo. If we Echo with Fire here, we do 7, and yeah, that times 2 is not going to be enough, and I don't want to Echo with Seraphim, because that won't be enough either. So, okay, yeah. Echo's better than I gave it credit for in my first playthrough, but right now, this is not the time that it's the most useful.
Allow your soul the rest it deserves.
That, I believe, is a Celica-specific defeat quote. So, okay then. Well, you only have 1 speed, so I'm not too worried about Alfred dying to that, but, he's gonna get broken, though, so there won't be a counterattack against you just yet. And I suppose Etier can be the one to visit the village.
What's that? Monsters here? Gosh, all, thanks for letting me know.
Hello there, very obviously Patrick Seitz.
Take this. Might come in useful.
And we get a javelin. That could be pretty nice for, yeah, Alfred doesn't have a javelin to start with. That can be nice to have him provide some range damage. And, okay, before we do anything else, I'm thinking we've got to be careful of that guy, because he's got a hand axe. But if Boucheron attacks this guy first, then Boucheron will, if he hits, break this guy. There we go. I like how you can see the doors in those forts, too. I think the game will explain forts eventually. Vander might be able to rush in and finish that, but I have a more fun idea.
I'll do my best. Lend me your strength.
Charge! In fact, yes, Aaliyah can go all the way up to this guy. And, Ryder's bane his face off immediately. There we go.
There is nothing to fear.
But fear itself. Okay, we've got the hand axe, and then we can canter, but we don't want to canter too far back, because then we'll lure that armor knight in. I guess we can canter back one space, though. Yeah, the thing about canter in Engage is that it's not based on, like Canto in earlier Fire Emblem games was basically letting you spend your unspent movement allowance
I will defend
after attacking. Whereas here, it is a fixed 2 spaces regardless of how far you move before. I'm more likely to need clan... Actually, no, I've got a lot of vulneraries down here. I'm more likely to need Fran up here, maybe. Okay, so this goo guy is gonna attack Louis and do nothing because Louis is amazing. Yeah, a lot of people thought that Armor Knights were finally fixed in Engage, and then it turns out that actually it's not so much Armor Knights, it's mostly just Louis, and mostly just in the early game. But the thing is, Louis is still very, yeah, don't get your hopes up with that very high damage output from Alfred there. He got broken, so he didn't get to do any of that. Oh, Aaliyah gets doubled by this Pegasus Knight with the Rider's Bane. Yeah, Sigurd's weapons are pretty heavy, you'll need to keep an eye on that. But it's mostly on Maddening that Louis falls off. On other difficulties, Louis is generally fine. Okay, we've got a Sword Pegasus.
These houses are ripe for the picking. Time for a good old-fashioned village pillage.
No dialogue sums up Fire Emblem Bandits more than this.
The crystal. It's glowing.
Where did you get that?
It was in the ring vault. Vander found it after the battle at Lethos Castle.
And I think we've narrowed this down to not being Lumera's at this point.
Why? Do you know what this is?
The Draconic Time Crystal. An artifact capable of reversing time itself.
Why didn't you tell us that back when Lumera died? That might have been really convenient.
There is a limit to its power, but still, it could give us a keen advantage.
Time crystal, huh? So it's not just a pretty piece of jewelry.
Lear has bias for things that are blue and red.
Since we have it, I suggest we put it to use. Give it a try.
Yes, let's give it a try and erase all of that stuff that happened on the enemy phase that I'm okay with keeping. So yeah, the Draconic Time Crystal lets you rewind and retry actions in battle. On Hard and Maddening, you have 10 uses of this per chapter. On Normal, you have unlimited time rewinds, which basically means you can't outright lose unless you want to. So if we go and press A on an empty space, you can then press A again for the Time Crystal, but we can't rewind any further because the Time Crystal's only just activated. Basically, if we made a move that we don't really agree with, we can go and turn it back. But for example, I can go here and... oh, right, we're getting a tutorial on the convoy. Yeah, so, Alir is your convoy in this game. I didn't actually want to do the convoy, I actually wanted to access trade so I could grab that hand axe. And thankfully, you can still attack after trading, though you can't move. So you are committed to wherever you ended up when you did the trade. With this trade, I can take this hand axe and use it in the same turn. Oh, nice one.
That was tense.
I was not expecting that to actually hit. I was more wanting to equip that for the chain attack. But okay then, that flyer is down, but we have a whole bunch of enemies that are on Louis right now. And we also have, okay, there's a bandit there. Those bandits are the only things that are a threat to the villagers. So, okay then. I'm a little concerned about Aaliyah charging in too far, even with just look at this, yeah, Sigurd is really fun. In fact, I could actually Sigurd override through these two. It'd kill the archer, but it would barely do anything to that armor. And unfortunately, it's not like I can give the Rider's Bane to Louis, because it's an engaged weapon, only Sigurd has access to it. Okay, problem is you are very far away from Fram right now, and you're not really healed. Because I kind of want to kill that. I don't know if Salen's able to do that, though. We've got this thing up close. Okay, but that is an armored enemy, which means that Clan actually cannot kill it, because Clan is a little weak right now. That's 2 damage. And you leave him on 5, so I can't actually finish you with a combination of those two. I need to use Alfred for one of them, and Alfred's hurting really bad right now. Oh, I do have Lodestar Rush, though. I actually think this might be better. I'm going to Lodestar Rush this guy. You might notice that even though Alfred has lances, I can only use the rapier here.
My prayers are with you.
And that's because Lodestar Rush is only usable with swords.
We shall not fall to the enemy.
And hey, level 2 bond on Marth with Alfred. That's one step closer to break defenses. I may have to leave Saline here, because if I don't kill that, Alfred dies. And U plus Etier is not enough, so I think I actually have to do this. And this means this means next is my last turn on Celica, so I kind of need to walk next turn.
I want to help you.
I want to help you die. I mean, I guess that makes sense when we're fighting zombies, but that need to be put to rest, but still. So, okay then. As fun as it would be to do this, yeah, I think I would rather just, because Louis can kill this anyway. Oh, actually, no, he can't, because, okay, the game hasn't explained this yet, and I've alluded to this a few times. Covert units get double avoid bonuses from terrain, so this guy has 74 avoid. This is actually where Aaliyah's override is pretty good, because engage attacks are guaranteed to hit. But if Aaliyah goes down there, he's probably at risk of getting mauled by the Armor Knight. So I think I should take this thing out from behind before... Okay, you do 8 damage. And you do 7 damage. So she's not going to die if I put her here, I'm pretty sure. Chloe is actually a very, very strong character, but you won't really realize why now.
I'm sorry.
She's mostly just going around picking off mages. Okay, that's out, and then... Yeah, I would really like to hit you, but I highly doubt that's going to happen. I think I'm going to have to send Vander in. None of you are backup units. 20, 18, 15... So he'll take 10, 8, and 5, and none of them will break him. I am going to go for this just in case it works. Nope, okay, yeah. Covert units are pretty good at dodge tanking in terrain. But he's on a fort now, and units on a fort are also immune to being broken by the weapon triangle. And we've got... Okay, I will probably need Clan down here to deal with the guys here. And you are very out of position, and I do not like the fact that Aaliyah is going to have to move back in order to get healed. But I may have to do that. Just gonna have to go here and heal you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Chain Guard units generally don't have a lot of movement. If you had, like, Chain Guard on the cavalry, that would probably be pretty powerful. Okay, there we go. They are going for Vander. Well, that's fine, because as I calculated, Vander could actually crit this guy. He did not. That's still fine. And as I calculated, yep, Chloe is not going to die to this. Okay, this is actually looking kind of not good for her, though. She has vulneraries. Okay, and you didn't get it up in a big line or anything. Because, yeah, there's no upper limit to override, so it's really funny if you can just charge through, like, 8 enemies at once with it. And you also heal every turn on forts. So, okay, right, yeah. This is the point where I probably do need to warp in with Saline.
I am resolved to fight for peace. Hold on, you two. I am on my way.
So yeah, she can warp there and basically one-shot that. That's not quite a one-shot, I can see. Yeah, it's barely not a one-shot. Okay, and then she can also warp up here, but I think I've got this area covered, so I would probably rather warp here and then explode you.
My apologies.
My apologies, but I'm about to drop a giant end of the world on you.
Allow your soul the rest it deserves.
And level 2, we get Magic +3 is an inheritable skill. But, yes, you do have a vulnerability. You need to heal. You do double this guy, though. Yeah, and you can't really get anywhere productive while Chloe is stuck here. Make sure I don't equip that javelin, though. It's going to reduce her speed by a decent amount. Not like a massive, massive ton, though. Okay, Alfred is actually getting a lot of killing blows here. It's just more of a question of, like, how good his first level up is. That's probably going to determine whether I want to try and, like, because I've been thinking about maybe using Alfred. He's actually quite a good character, and he has some really nice supports that I'd love to show. It's just that I've never actually trained him before, so there may be merit in using characters that I'm more familiar with, but still, okay. Yeah, see, even though I don't have, like, the weapon triangle advantage or anything, the rapier is, like, objectively better because I'm guaranteed to hit here. There we go, that's down.
I will protect you.
The problem is that if I send Alfred down here, he usually gets stuck in this area and doesn't really gain a whole lot of experience. It's usually better for him if he goes up here, but there's also a lot of axe users up here. Speaking of axe users, see, okay, if I put Boucheron here, and then I use the hand axe on this guy, then even if this misses, well, yep, case in point, I can demonstrate this. Boucheron with a hand axe equipped is in chain attack range of both of these enemies, so if, for example, Fram were to try and punch this guy, then as you can see here, Boucheron will get a chain attack, except if he misses, then this is not good. If this doesn't work, I'll use the time crystal.
You made me a fan!
Oh no, now she's going to start the Boucheron fan club. Well, I mean, I she did gain strength. But yeah, speaking of the time crystal, okay, so about the time crystal, I'll have to decide whether or not I use it. The main, like, issue that I would have with using it is that it would make attempts of chapters feel, like, a little hard to follow if I just keep resetting over and over with the time crystal. And some of it just looks kind of cleaner to get one run. The thing is, later chapters can be quite brutal, though. Okay, if I do go for this, then I have to kill, like, everything else in this turn, and I don't know if I can even do that. Okay, I can get, like, 16 and 16 with, this plus Vander. But as long as I'm staying around here, this village is not under threat just yet. You don't one-shot Fram, do you? Yeah, I don't think he does. I do only have one turn left of that engage, though. So I probably should, like, go for... Vanna takes, like, 10 from you. And, okay, that's a... Okay, that kills you. So, village is safe. And then Alear does override because this is my last chance to actually use it. And override does work with swords. But that'll be doing no damage to the armor. But if I do this, then Alear can get broken, which, honestly, I'm okay with, because it means that, like, it might tempt them to go for him instead of Fram. But, like, if I go for this, the archer, I think, still dies, and, Alear does not get broken. But, I mean, Alear wouldn't be able to damage that armor anyway.
Raise your sword!
As I raise my electric lance! It always looks really satisfying when you kill someone with override. And yes, our inheritable skill for this level, Lance Power 1, useful but very expensive to inherit in terms of SP. We'll see what that means a bit later. Okay, now are you going to go for Alear? I thought so, yeah. So again, probably like not a terrible idea just to tempt him into attacking Alear instead of anyone else. Because enemies do really, really like to prioritize break where they can.
I've had my eye on you.
I had a feeling you crit. I don't know why, but I just had a feeling.
And they lived happily ever after.
We're losing ground, are we? Well, that's easily remedied.
Release the corrupted.
And reinforcements. Thankfully, this game does not have ambush spawning reinforcements, which, to explain a Fire Emblem fan term there, ambush spawning reinforcements are reinforcements that can move and attack the turn they arrive. They're generally considered complete bullcrap, so thankfully, this game does not have them. But it does have a heck of a lot of reinforcements. Like, Engage is a very, very, very reinforcement-heavy game. And both of these are armored, so they're like, okay, yeah, you probably should have Selene up this part of the map by now, just saying. Also, or Marth, but, well, I've run out of Marth. And now, there are going to be more corrupted spawning out of, like, here and here, although I think some of them are exclusive to Maddening mode, so I'll have to, remember that. Please be experience. I'll bond up. Not really sure I need that, but okay. I'll keep you two down here, because I know that there is a Pegasus reinforcement out of there, but it's also potentially,
My will is firm.
Potentially...
Is it go time?
Can I talk and visit in the same turn?
Chloe, I am relieved to see you're alright.
But yeah, potentially that one's Maddening exclusive.
You too, Princess Selene.
I was able to find Alfred, and the Divine Dragon, no less. After that, the Divine One summoned Emblem Celica from within my ring.
And gave me the ability to break maps by teleporting.
A noble dragon summoning ancient spirits to save the day. That sounds just like a fairy tale.
You know, Chloe's kind of summing up why I like this game.
It does. Now that I have this power, let's give this story a happy ending, shall we?
Let's do it.
Chloe's like, oh, don't worry, I already gave this story a happy ending. I messily killed that undead guy.
Thank you for warning me. Here, use this to bring peace to our land.
Oh, 2,000 gold. Actually, that's really good, because, as I've said earlier, money is very tight in Engage. Oh, and that, of course, that tile is not an experience. Yeah, I wanted it more on Alfred. Okay. Oh, right, you're still alive. Yeah, that's a thing that has happened. Okay, how do I deal with you? Very carefully, I suppose. Yeah, I think I'll try and hand axe you. Is that bit that's on the corrupted thing, is that like their exposed brain or something? Probably not, due to like the age rating, but still. Okay, you know, if I put Louis here, I don't think either of these things can get through. The problem is I don't want to provoke this mage into moving before I'm ready for it, because, yeah, that's probably the reason for those Spirits of the Fallen around here, that mage rushing you alongside the boss, because the boss will rush you too, as bosses tend to do in Engage. I'd really like Aaliyah to kill this, but as you can see here, Aaliyah's only damage is the chain attack, which actually leads me to quite a good point about this game. Of course, Vander will actually finish that. I don't think Aaliyah is able to get the kill there, unfortunately, so I'm gonna have to finish with Vander.
For the Divine Dragon.
As much as I don't really like finishing things with Vander, but actually, no, it's still good to get rid of enemies with him. Because, you know, thinking that, like, pre-promoted characters like Vander are experienced these is kind of a trap. Usually, any dead enemy is good for your cause. Okay, Louis is showing a little bit of wear and tear, but not a whole lot. Thankfully, these guys have no chance to crit against him. But I would very much like a mage up here. Okay, right. That reinforcement definitely does appear on non-maddening modes. So, this is why I had you here, and you can't quite finish it because of, you know, yeah, Etier does run into issues sometimes, but she does do a lot of damage at least, and very soon we'll be able to buy a steel bow for her, and then she'll be back to one-shotting flyers. The question is, by that point, will I really need it? Because flyers aren't actually that common in the next few chapters. Okay, even if I missed, I'm probably fine.
Sort of like that, maybe?
That Pegasus just flumps right on top of that fort. It's always funny, the ragdoll physics on enemies dying. Yeah, maybe I sent Alfred in the wrong direction, but I mean, I guess he did do some stuff with Marth. Aha, I have Celica. And as much as I really often like to Warp Ragnarok the boss, I'd probably rather use Warp Ragnarok to get Celica closer to where I need her to be. Because if I Warp Ragnarok up to here, then I can take out one of these guys.
Grant me strength.
And yeah, you may have noticed there, Divinely Inspiring. That works on engage attacks.
I want to help you.
Which can lead to some pretty devastating damage. Okay, we now have her special effect there, Resonance. When equipped with a tome, if unit's HP is 2 or more, loses 1 HP at the start of combat and deals +2 damage during combat. That's going to be useful against this boss. Is this thing... Yeah, that's a Corrupted, so Seraphim is going to be effective. And I do have a lead... I don't... Okay, no, firstly I need to heal him. Do I one-shot that mage with Sigurd and Override? I might.
Alright. Emblem?
Can I even reach? Okay, I can reach. So I can go all the way up here, and then if I Override, I do not one-shot you with that. I do not one-shot you with that either. Right. And you have a Javelin, so probably don't want to do that just yet. You might notice that when you take back moves like this, it does take back the engage itself, so you don't have to worry about wasting the engage like that. Oh, right, there's a flyer over here. I can deal with you with Chloe, I think. She's running down her vulnerary a little bit, but it's probably okay. I want to get you close to the boss, because chain attacks work absolute wonders against bosses. I guess I can get this conversation too.
Louis, thank goodness.
Princess Saline, how relieved I am to see you unharmed.
So I think every character in Firene is named after a fashion brand, and Louis is the only one I recognize.
Hmm? You seem different.
Don't tell me. You've changed your hair. Oh wait, that's literally true.
The Divine Dragon brought Emblem Celica forth from my ring. I am imbued with her strength.
Pardon? The Divine Dragon is here?
Indeed. I will explain everything later. For now, let us restore order here. I promise I will never leave you behind again. Come, let us fight together.
As you wish. Princess Saline and Emblem Celica. What a pair.
Louis, is gonna start writing fanfics, isn't he? So yeah, in fact, speaking of that, Louis actually does kind of benefit from Aaliyah being female, I found, on some of my other playthroughs where I use female Aaliyah. Because that makes his personal skill a little easier to trigger. Just thinking, can I take you out this turn? I don't know, and then you... Okay, wait, let's not lock in that, let's lock in the range of the... yeah, that's fine, okay, so...
I am your weapon.
Oh, that takes you down to 1. Although can Aaliyah finish that? Yeah, he does do 6 with the Rider's Bane. Okay, so here's the plan then. The plan is... Vander goes down to 21. Yeah, that's fine, the mage is not going to kill him. Those could be like famous last words. Okay, thank you, Vander, for not critting there, because I kind of want Aaliyah to take this one. Oh, and of course you got the experience from that. Yeah, you can't rely on Spirits of the Fallen at all, but you know, they're a thing that can help sometimes, but again, don't rely on them. There we go.
If this love is a crime.
And that's Sigurd's weirdest victory quote. Wow, Aaliyah is wanting to be an armor knight in my playthrough. I'm not gonna hold that against him. But yeah, not gonna go all the way up there because that way then the boss gets to go. But if I do this then... Oh, hey, bond fragments. Okay, there's only 2 enemies left, and hello there. Yep, I am glad I didn't provoke the boss early. Okay, boss might be moving eventually. Yeah, we're kind of evenly matched with this one here. I'd kind of like Alfred to be up here. Alfred would take that thing out pretty decently. Okay, right, I can override through them. Saline's not there, though. That actually does kind of suck. Maybe I should have saved the Warp Ragnarok for now, because then I could have got Saline closer to the boss, but what are you going to do? Okay. So, okay, Seraphim one-shots that. Don't know if that's exactly what I want to do here, but... Oh yeah, there's also that thing. Do think I kind of want to heal... let's heal Louis. I think Louis Vuitton is the brand that Louis is named after.
Understood.
But also Firene in general is fairly, like, French in its theming. And as fun as it would be to override again, I'm not going to do that. Yeah, normally Louis versus Mage is not a good idea, but he's one-shotting here.
You were beautiful while you lasted.
There's a lot of very interesting victory quotes that these characters have. But yeah, even if I hit this guy with Vander, he doesn't get broken because he's an armored unit, and the same rules apply to the enemy as they do to you, which I really like it when video games do that. It's one of the reasons I like Persona and Shin Megami Tensei so much. Aha! But now that I have player phase advantage, I can actually break you and not take a counterattack. Okay, Chloe may level up if I play my cards right. Yeah, this oh, sorry, Alfred. This feels a little inefficient with my turns. I probably could have done this better, but these chapters do tend to go pretty quickly.
Soon I'll be a legend. The man who captured the Princess of Firene.
Huh, you want to see the Princess of Firene, huh? Okay, would that have actually killed me if that had crit? That would have been 24 damage. Louis may have had exactly 24. And yeah, we have the interrupting boss theme now overriding other stuff. But I like this a lot more than Wrath Strike. Though I will say, the Warriors version of Wrath Strike, which is the boss theme from Three Houses for those who don't know, is really good. The actual Three Houses version of Wrath Strike is not good, in my opinion.
Right and proper end.
Okay, that's a good level. That's a very good level. She didn't get HP though, and she has a freakishly high HP growth, as you'll see when I give her bio. But okay, Rodine, yeah, like I said, you want to see the Princess of Firene so much, don't you? Well, that'll work, but I guess first I can just try and get a little bit of cheap experience before we finish this.
Thank you.
It's not like we're going to be wasting weapon uses for this. Oh, hey, Fran did get a level up. Like, that's 2 level ups for Fram in the space of 1 chapter. Which is kind of a shame, since I don't really plan on using her. There is another... Oh, nice. Very nice. There is another key adept that I want to use here. Okay, yeah, Aaliyah did level up. Kind of like Louis to level up, actually, but it's not like he's going to get a level up off of this boss.
I can fight.
So let's instead go... I'm going to have to shuffle around some people. But I want to just... I mean, she's going to one-round this guy anyway, but, Okay, so Seraphim here I'm doubling for like 21 damage each. If you're doubling something, no point in using Echo, but like, there are actually times when Echo does more than attacking normally with a mystical character. Oh, I thought he got a special boss conversation with her.
I would have won, you know, if they'd given me real soldiers.
Okay, let's see how you do here. No magic. Yeah, the first 2 mages you get are not great in the magic growth department. I actually did use Saline on my final team in my first playthrough, though. I do like her when she's promoted. She gains access to staves, which is pretty cool. And she's decent with 11 swords as well. Oh no, we're gonna get broken! See what I told you about the enemies prioritizing break? The rules even apply in cutscenes.
There's no need to be afraid. It's gone.
Speaking of which, that's a very pretty cutscene.
You saved my life. Thank you.
It was nothing, really. I only did what anyone else would do.
Are you here by yourself?
I am. I saw the fighting and thought I could help.
So you appear to be a mage. Do you have a better magic growth than the two mages we have right now?
You're braver than I am. I can't stand the corrupted.
Well then, maybe you should give Celica's emblem a try.
I was so startled I couldn't think. You really did save my life.
I see.
Oh, I haven't introduced myself yet. I'm the Divine Dragon.
Not even I can pronounce my own name.
What a lovely name. I'm Vale.
Vale.
Might I interrupt?
What is it?
Even with the corrupted gone, it may not be safe for her out here. Perhaps we should escort her home, or to an inn.
That's a good idea. Hey, Vale, do you live around here?
And Batman.
Huh? She's gone.
Maybe she has Celica's ring.
Divine One.
Saline, did you see a girl pass this way? Small, with long hair? Barefoot?
No, I'm afraid I didn't see anyone matching that description.
Please tell me this isn't one of those situations where they're like, oh, there was a girl like that who lived around here, but she died 10 years ago.
Okay, thanks. Did you need something?
I wanted to thank you. Alfred told me that you accepted Firene's request for aid, and your help in the battle was the difference between victory and defeat. Thank you. Truly.
Yeah, I doubt her, Louis, and Chloe could have soloed that.
Don't mention it. Alfred and I are friends. I was happy to help.
Friends? He said that? Imagine speaking so casually with the Divine Dragon. Please, allow me to apologize on his behalf.
He's not allowed to make friends. His mum will ground him for this.
There's no need to put me on a pedestal. I just woke up, and the world is new to me. I make mistakes like anyone.
This actually does sum up Aaliyah to me a lot.
Is that so? I thought surely the Divine Dragon would be an all-seeing, all-powerful being. But here I find that you are rather more human than I expected. Perhaps we can be friends.
And I think that sums it up quite well too.
Then what do you say, Saline? Friends?
I would be honored.
Also, I see she takes fashion advice from Lissa back in Awakening's world. Never thought they would bring back the gigantic, like, cage dresses. And finally, yeah, the reason why I couldn't do stuff before was because this mechanic hadn't been unlocked yet. We now have the ability to kidnap random animals and make them our pets forever. There's also a reason they're showing dogs here. Well, probably not, but, like, I like to think there is. And, also donating to countries. That's a mechanic that, yeah, that is kind of a thing that I will discuss. So yeah, firstly, let's go around and see if there are any animals that we can kidnap. Yes, dog. You want to adopt dogs. Dogs are, and it pains me to say this because I am by far a cat person in real life, they are by far the best animal. So, we're authorized for dogs, but we're not authorized for chickens. Aaliyah has no idea how to raise chickens. What about sheep? Okay, so we're allowed... I think that chickens would be easier to raise than sheep, just saying. Like, I know plenty of people who do raise chickens. I know literally nobody who raises sheep. And, like, I've never heard of anybody who isn't a farm, like an actual farmer raising sheep. And, yeah. Can I... Yeah, we can actually talk to some of these guys.
Thank you.
I do like this because it gives a kind of a nice sense of sort of... I don't know, sorry, but, like... not so much accomplishment, but like the idea that like there are actual people living in these areas where you have chapters and that they are reacting to the battles that occur here.
Really?
So, I believe if you look hard enough, the villagers from the villages you saved are actually here too.
What?
And I do believe they actually disappear if you didn't successfully save their villages. So, like, there are some slight impacts on that kind of thing. Hope you don't mind if I rob your oranges. Oh, there's the other orange.
Ooh,
Yeah, so characters will give you bond fragments. Usually it's characters who leveled up themselves, were the MVP, or if Aaliyah leveled up. And bond fragments are extremely important because they let you fast-track Emblem bond levels. Most of your bond levels you will not really need to worry about raising during battle. Most of it will be done with bond fragments. And here's the cool thing. If you want to skip this and just head to the next chapter, which, who can blame you, this game's chapters are incredible. If you just go here and then select Depart, you will automatically get all the bond fragments you would otherwise obtain by talking to people. But you will miss out on the glowing spots and animals. So if you want to get those, you will have to go after them yourself. He didn't gain strength that time, so I wouldn't exactly say he's put on muscle. Oh, it is me, Patrick Sykes villager. So yeah, like I said, the actual villagers that you saved are here. They seem to have a stock of bond fragments we can loot.
What?
Well, here's the thing. See, this game actually has skirmishes, so unfortunately your village is going to get attacked later on, whether you like it or not. Iron ingot, that's cool.
Yes.
I am also Patrick Sykes villager. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, so she leveled up, so she's gonna definitely give bond fragments. Eggs. This village shall give me an egg. Also, look at that little dingy boat there.
Well,
most battlefields don't actually have this many NPCs to talk to. Just want to show that this is a populated area. But I think up here, yeah, this is the other village. And you were the one who gave us that 2,000 gold. So yeah, thank you so much for that, because gold is pretty hard to come by and engage. I am also a Patrick Sykes villager. So overall, yeah, I really like Chapter 4. It's a nice one. It kind of teaches you how to use warp, which is something not a lot of Fire Emblems do. It teaches you about flying and armored units. It's got a good variety of enemies. In terms of how I played it, yeah, I guess I could have got to the boss a little faster. Yeah, anyone who has blue speech bubbles has something specific to this chapter to say. I feel like I probably misused Alfred a bit. I did want to show Alpha with Marth, though. He was able to take out a few enemies that way.
Oh my.
But that chapter is over, and I will see you all next time for... Okay, this is likely going to be a very, very in-depth Somniel episode, because I have 3 character bios to go over, and I also have a few extra mechanics that are introduced in the Somniel. One of which you'll be seeing right when we depart, so see you all then.